So I recently got inspired by this new Caves of Ixalan god that got revealed. I'm going to call him Ojer. Ojer? We're going with Ojer. We're going with Ojer here. Because I love the idea that he's doing extra damage with things, and I kind of threw it up on Twitter that I'm going to make this guy for cEDH, and we're just going to go just like turbo burn. But upon thinking about it, I wound up realizing that like burn spells is not really the way to go. I saw a lot of people talking about this card. There's a lot of like gutter snipes and things like when you play spells, it's going to cause a little bit of damage, which is then going to like ramp up into extra damage. I kind of started to realize that there's no way in mono red that you're going to be able to like outspell the table. Like you're not going to be able to outdraw. You're not going to be able to play more spells. So what you can do though is you can punish people. You can play the cards that are going to deal damage when your opponents do things. So that's the way I'm going to take this deck, and I think it's going to be super interesting. The goal is still the same. We're still going to try to like burn everyone out. Like he is our win condition, so we're going to have to protect him. But the basis of the deck is do things that punish your opponents for just trying to play the game till they're either stuck in a situation where they have to do something and lose, or they go to do something and you react over top of it and you cause them to lose, or they're locked out and you can just run them over with the damage that you can do. So I got it. We're calling it Little Fires for right now, because as I was talking to people, we kept kind of referring to it as stacks, and what I actually realized is that what this deck is going to do is it's going to basically just set like little fires. Like Rebel talks about cEDH about there being windows, and you kind of have to like create your window or find your window and then go for it. This deck just starts fires in the house, and slowly but surely the house is burning down, and if you don't get out that window, you're going to get burned with it. So I basically got it started here where we have the mana base that is basically Godo. Like I kind of made a couple like minor changes here. I'm running Reckless Barbarian. It's basically just another Skirk Prospector. Like Skirk Prospector can obviously like sack other goblins, but it's basically you put the mana in, you can get the mana out immediately. So there's no harm in playing this, because if you can untap, you can get yourself 2 more mana. So it's another ritual kind of. Other than that is your basic stuff like your Simian Spirit Guide. You gotta run Sticker Goblin, Guacamole Goblin, Phyrexian Goblin. I can't even remember what the 5-vowel version is, the sticker that you want, but this guy is the second best ritual ever printed. You gotta have Dockside, and then all your artifacts that you're gonna run. I hate I hate in mono red that you have to run Felwar Stone, but you do, or Consignet, all the stuff like that. So mana base here, I went with 31 lands. We might tick that down a couple, but once again in mono red, we're not drawing any cards. Like we're drawing pretty much no cards. Like here and there's a couple things that are gonna get you cards, but you get the cards that you get, and that's it. So you're not gonna be able to draw 5 cards in hopes that you're gonna be able to get a land. Like you need to hit your land drops, and you kind of need to be somewhat consistent with that. So here's our basis. Here's our starting out. So we got 56 cards. So let's start getting into the meat of what this deck is. So step 1, we need the punishers. So let's do this. We're going to start with the basics. Some of the ones that we all know. And one of them is, of course, Pyrostatic Pillar. I'm so good at using Moxfield. Watch this. Alright, so Pyrostatic Pillar. So whenever anyone plays a spell, it's going to deal damage to them. I know what it is. It is an enchantment. So this was the card that really, back in the day, I loved this card. You had Burning Tree Shaman, which was basically a small Rurik Thar, and I pushed really hard to try to make that a deck. Like before Rurik Thar existed, we're talking like Extended, like when Extended was a format. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, was to do that, where it's like your opponent's taking game actions, you're not putting any mana investment in whatsoever other than the upfront cost, and then they're taking damage for doing that. So this deck, that's kind of what this deck is, and that's kind of a really good example here, is that this deck is doing what Rurik Thar wants to do, but the cool thing about this is you're not affected by Rurik Thar. You're not affected by Ojer. Like he only hits opponents. So it's Rurik Thar without the negative in that sense. Like, because the other thing, if you've ever played Rurik Thar, you have an immediate target before you even like get your opening hand, because everyone sees Rurik Thar and wants to immediately remove him. It costs a lot. He costs 6, so you get to play him once. You do not get to play Rurik Thar twice. Twice, absolutely at most, never a third time. And then he's hard to protect because every time you try to play something to protect him, it's going to cost you 6 life also. Ojer, we're not going to run into that problem. We're going to be able to play spells behind him and not take as much damage. Obviously, a Pyrostatic Pillar is a terrible example because we're still going to take damage, but us taking 2 is a lot better than them taking 4 or more, as we're going to see here. So let's keep this going. So Pyrostatic Pillar, there's the creature that does that also. For the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. It's called Eidolon of the Great Revel. There we go. So that's basically the creature version of this. So Eidolon of the Great Revel. We also want to hit people when they do lands. So we want Zozu. Is that Zozu? Zozu the Punisher. So if you're not familiar with this guy, it's whenever a land comes into play, it deals 2 damage to that person's controller. We're still on the we're only dealing damage to ourselves also, but once again, we're going to deal substantially more to them. It says he also happens to be a goblin, which is going to be awesome because we can tag him to the Skirk Prospector if need be. What else does damage? We get the classic once again. We're still dealing damage to ourselves here. We're going to go with Spell Shock. Anyone plays any spell, they're taking 2 damage. Let's get away from dealing damage to ourselves for a second here. And we're going to do Roiling Vortex. Wait. Sorry. This still does damage to ourselves. Still doing damage to ourselves. That's totally fine. But here's a primary example. Roiling Vortex is going to deal 1 damage, but it's going to be 4 damage to everyone else. So the game plan is you want to land one of these. We want to land one of these Punisher cards, and then we want to get Ojer out. That's the game plan. So Punisher, turn 1. This, turn 2. And something like Pyrostatic Pillar, a lot of decks can't win through this. They're going to have to remove it. So in that sense, it is like Stacks, where it's like, something's gonna have to happen. But in this case, unlike in Stacks, trying to remove it is going to cost them life. You know, there's certain ones that people are gonna be able to remove without getting hit. Like, you know, you can remove Roiling Vortex without taking damage from it. But if we keep building enough punishing things up, eventually people are going to get stuck in a situation where trying to deal with everything is eventually going to be dealing them damage, and that damage is going to escalate. So, other things that deal things. Here's some good ones. Immolation Shaman. This is kind of like as I was talking about with Burning Tree Shaman. This is kind of the mono red version of it. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact, creature, or land that is a mana ability, he deals 1 damage to them. So this is fantastic. So things like Kinnan, hit Kinnan every time they try to do anything. You got obviously Basalt, the untap, it doesn't hit the tap abilities. Yeah, because it's not mana abilities. Cracking a fetch land, this is gonna hit, but once again, 1 is gonna be 4. So this is gonna add up. This is gonna be tough to deal with. There's lots of little things that this is going to ping. We have the other one of this, Harsh Mentor. He's kind of doing the same thing there. We got him in there. And unfortunately, that ends the mono red ones we can play. There is the 2 that are... There's the Scalding Viper, but he is red and blue, because the blue is an adventure. It's got a blue adventure. And then there's, what is it? It's Flame Scroll Celebrant, which is the double-sided card. It's red on the front, but it's white on the back, so we can't play that either. Both those would be absolutely fantastic in here, but we do not get those, so that sucks. There's another Pyrostatic Pillar that has Renown. I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. Let's look this up real fast. It's red, it's got Renown, it's got Haste. It is... Do you know what it is? Can you name it faster than I can search it? Scab Clan Berserker, that's what it is there. There we go. Scab Clan Berserker. Same idea. We're dealing damage whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell. So this is great, because this one's not hitting us. This is a good example. This guy, Perfect. So, and like you're gonna be able to get in with this guy. Like this shouldn't be hard to hit someone to get the renown ability. Like there's gonna be an opening somewhere where you're gonna be able to get this through. So I don't even really declare that to be like a drawback of any kind. What else have we got? I know there's other punishing things that are red. There are things that we want to do. Is it Sardian Avenger? Sardian Avenger. Okay, here we go. Here's another good example. We're going to have at least two of these. I think there's two that exist. Sardian Avenger is the guy who he gets +X+O for artifacts, but that important one is that last line second, the third paragraph of text on this card. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard, he deals 1 damage to that player. So that's going to get obviously treasures. That's the big one that you're going to hit, but it's also going to get lotus petals. It's going to stop lines like diamond loops. It's going to hit stuff like that. Because once again, 1 is going to start to add up to even more than that. The other one is Pain Distributor. Is that what it's called? It's the guy. It's the devil dude. Yeah, there you go. He's the same thing. He does the exact same thing. He has extra abilities where he's going to start giving people treasures, including everyone. But the hope is that here's kind of like one of those situations where like you're starting the little fire with him. So even though everyone else is going to also be getting treasures for playing spells, they're going to wind up taking damage from doing so. So you're going to get your treasures and be free. They're going to get their treasures and have to take 4, 6, 8 damage to crack them. So the hope is that even though you're kind of speeding everyone else up, you're going to also kind of be like dealing damage to everyone like that. Here's a good one. Mana Barbs. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, it deals 1 damage to them. Absolutely fantastic. Like this is one of the big ones, because this is like a primary example where it's just like you're gonna get this out and it's just gonna start dealing damage all over the place. Like this puts a clock on the game. Like this is not just a little fire. This one is a big fire, because everyone's going to be taking at least 2 damage, which as long as Ojer's out is going to be 8 damage, and that's going to add up. Like how many turns can you take 4 to 12 damage or not spend any mana? Like you can't win through this. Like these two combined. Like if you've played the new Obnixilis, you know how good this one is. And then there's one that's the same that does it just on non-basics, which is basically every land. It's the same card. Why would they print the same card twice? It is non-basic damage. Burning Earth, that's what it is. Whenever a player taps a non-basic land for mana, it deals that. So it's Burning Earth. Burning Earth. We're also going to have to watch out, because obviously, check out these artifacts and gems. We're going to be feeding docksides. So landing the Sardian Avenger early, or landing the Pain Distributor early is good. And now that I'm saying that, you know who we're going to add to this deck? We're going to add Goblin Matron. We don't have a lot of tutors. We're in red, so we're going to get ourselves a Goblin Matron, because that can obviously get us dockside. So in a sense, this is going to kind of be, it could be free, where you get this, you get dockside, you get 6 treasures, and you're already like right side up. Or you can get something like Zozu, or you can get something like the dude we were just talking about, Sardian Avenger. So that seems super fantastic. Who else do we need? Okay, we're up to 69 cards in here, so we still got a little bit to go. There's more Punishers. There's the one who does... There's one whenever an opponent plays a blue or white spell, it does damage. It was from like M14. Those are, really? Blue, white. Instant? I think it's blue or white. Instant or sorcery. It deals damage. There it is. Mind Sparker. First strike. Whenever an opponent casts a white or blue instant or sorcery, it deals 2 damage to that player. Sounds pretty good to me. Obviously, something like this, you run the risk of getting yourself in a pod where there is no white or blue, but that's not really going to happen that often. It's probably worth it. Like, obviously, you're not going to, like, dig up this one immensely, but if you land it against a Quirk deck, like you're gonna feel pretty good about this. So it's gonna do something. It's gonna do work. There's no way this is a dead card. Obviously, something like Pyrostatic Pillar is better, or Spell Shock is better, because that's just gonna hit everything. But this is not bad. Like, we could put this in the maybe pile, but for right now, we'll keep it in the deck. We'll see if we start hurting. If we need to cut something, if we need to cut a Punisher, we're gonna cut this boy for sure. Who else we got? Have I added... Okay, let's get some stuff that's going to deal some damage when we do things. So, as I said, I don't want to have too many of these, and I don't want them to have any kind of mana investment. But something like Firebrand Archer, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it's going to deal 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty good. It hits everyone. It's 2 mana. It's nice and cheap. Like, this is pretty fantastic here. So, we can do Firebrand Archer. Like, one thing that I saw in a lot of people's decks that I'm probably not going to run, unless like we're really hurting for like an extra one, is Pyrohemia. So like you pay 1 red and it deals 1 damage to everyone. Here, let me look it up over here. Pyrohemia. This is the red color shifted black card that was, it's the word for disease? Pestilence, that's what it is. Pestilence. This is red Pestilence. So, but this is a primary example where you're going to play this and then you got to put mana into it. And as we're going to get to in like the next step here, I want my mana available to protect Ojer. Because once people kind of catch on to what this deck is doing, this boy is going to have a giant target on him. He does have this interesting ability at the end here where if he dies, he flips. And then the flip side, in case you're unfamiliar, the flip side is he turns into a land. And then you can flip him back to his god side if you meet this requirement. So 2 colors in red, as long as you've dealt 4 damage to an opponent that's non-combat damage. So, you know, it's going to take a little bit of work that you're going to have to do something to get there, especially if we're not playing a bunch of burn spells. But that's where something like Firebrand Archer could be good. Or you just try to like goat someone out. Like if you got yourself a Pyrostatic Pillar, you play something that's scary enough that someone's going to feel the need to counterspell, and you just get a little bit of like stack interaction, and you get people to like do something on your turn to do a little bit of damage, and you know, that can kind of get you there. Ooh, here's something I want to add to the deck. Goblin Sharpshooter. This one's iffy also. Like, once again, the iffiness on this one is that it doesn't hit immediately. It is a goblin, so it's something we could search for with whatchamacallit, with Goblin Matron. But this boy, the fact that he deals damage and then untaps anytime anything dies, this is pretty fantastic because he can hit anything. So once again, like, you're getting the free damage. All he's got to do is hit the table, and then you got to, like, untap with him. So that's not super great. Like, obviously, once again, Pyrostatic Pillar, Spell Shock. These are like our big ones. Like you want to hit this like turn 1. Turn 1 Spell Shock is really where you want to be. Like, bam, it's there. Or Pyrostatic Pillar. Like that's where it's at. Where it's just like we're there. Like it's gonna be difficult to remove. It's gonna just start wailing on damage immediately. Goblin Sharpshooter though is kind of a finisher because if you need to start killing your own creatures, because once again, like things like the dude who sacks things, Skirk Prospector. You just sack creatures and then you can just do that. We might add in some other things to help sack creatures. You know what? We're going to add something right now while we're talking about it. Our land base, I kind of just went with what Godo had, but there's a couple lands we're going to want to run here that might help. We're in mono red, so, you know, we can run a couple lands that just tap for colorless. So one of the ones we're going to run is High Market. Sacrifice a creature, gain 1 life. The greatest thing in the world? No. But because of this guy's ability, if someone tries to exile him, because it's cEDH, all of your removal is exile. There's no, like, destroy. Like, you might get Blasphemous Act. People are running Languish now also, which sucks for him being at 4 toughness, but we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that in a little bit here. But High Market, in response, I'm going to sack my boy and then flip him over into a land. So, which may not be the worst thing in the world. We're also running Command Beacon. So if it's one of those things where it's like, we have nothing that we think we're going to be able to deal that 4 damage, we could get him into the command zone and then sack Command Beacon to do it. So a couple of utility lands. There's a couple more we're going to want to add also to help our boy get bigger. But we'll touch on getting him bigger. That's plan B. Plan A is deal damage. Dealing 4 damage is perfectly great. Firebrand Archer is perfectly good, dealing 4 damage to everything. Once again, the next thing we want to do, we still want to keep dealing damage. We want the dude who, when an artifact comes into play, he deals damage. So we're going to get artifacts coming in and artifacts for us coming in, and then artifacts going out. Artifact enters play. What is that boy? He's from Kaladesh. That is not the play. Enters play? Artifact damage? Enters? Play? Battlefield? Oh, yeah, I can't, right. Yeah, old school. I would say enters play, but it enters the battlefield. Artifact damage. Okay, come here. Come here. Come here, boy. There's actually a couple here that we want to do. Pain distributor. It is, where is it? Here it is, Reckless Fireweaver. I'm like, where is this guy? Reckless Fireweaver. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Once again, I'd rather be doing stuff where I don't have to be doing anything, but it's cEDH, we're creating treasures, there's enough ways to kind of like get stuff to happen, so Reckless Fireweaver seems pretty good. Once again, not the main target, but it's still a good punishing card that, like, if stuff happens, like, it's going to hit something. There's one more that's kind of like, kind of on the maybe, is Ingenious Artillerist. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, it deals that much damage to each opponent. It's kind of the same card, other than off of Dockside, he's only going to trigger once, which kind of sucks. While Reckless Fireweaver, you Dockside and you get a whole bunch, and it's a bunch of like individual triggers, so it's going to be, each time it's going to be 4+. So this guy's fantastic. This guy's mediocre. I don't know if we add him or not. I'm going to put him in the maybe pile. Let's get a little bit of a maybe pile here. So Ingenious Artillerist. What's the hotkey to add straight to considering? Anyone know? I don't know what it is, so I always have to do this and then move to considering. Okay, 73 cards. I think we're feeling pretty good here. I think there's a couple more like punishing cards that were on my mind that I wanted to add. They're all saved as photos on my phone, which I'm currently using to record this video. So I'm going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to look at that and double check if I missed anything. I'll have like a final list when I update this. But let's switch gears for a second here. So plan B is get our boy big. We need to protect our boy, but let's do the get our boy big. Because I'm doing a slightly different approach to this than other people are doing. Because his ability, he deals damage equal to his power, or he doesn't deal damage. The amount of damage that is dealt is equal to his power instead. So he's not the one doing damage. So we're not doing Shadow Spear, because that was my first mistake. Because I thought, oh, he's dealing damage. Let's do like Shadow Spear. No. Like the damage still comes from what it's coming from. He just increases it. So let's get him a little bit bigger. And I have a couple ones to do this. So here's where I'm doing something that's a little bit different than what I've seen a couple other people doing. And we're going to do this in the form of permanents that attach to him. So that's obviously going to be equipment, or there's a couple auras that are actually halfway decent that you want to put on him. So this is one of my favorite ones. Where did it go? Dueling Rapier, which is 1 red. It's flash. When it comes into play, it automatically attaches to a creature. There's only one creature we really want to attach it to unless something goes haywire. And that is this boy. So for 1 red, someone plays something and you, in response, play that. You attach it to him, and now all of a sudden 4 damage turns into 6 damage. There is an not exact, it's actually a better version of that does the same thing. It's literally the same card, except its equip cost is 1 less. It is flash. It is attach. It is +2. I think that's enough information to get us there. That should do it, right? Here we go. Mirror and Bane Splitter. Exact same card, other than its equip costs 3 instead of 2. So we are going to run this. Okay, here we go. Look at this. In this search, I just found another card that I didn't even realize existed. Javelin of Lightning. It costs one more. You still get the +2, but you also get first strike. Tempting. It's pretty tempting. I like the flash. I like the flash there. Because here's something important that we're going to get to in a little bit with this deck. And this is kind of the way I want to play this for my own sake. And I also think for the betterment of the deck. And that is, I want to... sorry, I'm trying to find this one. What was it called? Javelin of Lightning? We're putting this in the maybes. Javelin of Lightning. Get your button to the maybes here. Okay. So here's how I want to play this deck. Here's how I want my turns to go. Early game, I want to be dropping first thing first is a punishing card. Something big, a Burning Earth, a Mana Barbs, a Parasitic Pillar, a Spell Shock, something like that. Just get that out. Second thing, get our boy out here. Now, from this point forward, the only thing I want to be doing on my turn is playing another punishing card. I have like rituals and stuff like that. So if I need to use these to go up to get another thing out, like if I need to play... I'm just a draw blank here. If I need to play Desperate Ritual or I need to play Rite of Flame to be able to cast Burning Earth, I want to do that. I don't want to be doing anything that's not going to immediately be causing damage and tapping myself out. I want to be leaving mana open almost every single turn that I'm... Like at the end of my turn, I want mana open because I need to protect this guy. This guy's gonna have a giant target on him, and our ways to protect him are pretty minimal. Like, obviously, we have here we could get into this right now because we need a couple more pump spells. So let's get our protection spells in here. We need a way to protect them. We don't have a lot of good options. We're in mono red, so of course we have SWAT, deflecting SWAT. I'm like drawing blank there, deflecting SWAT. We have the worst deflecting SWAT, the one that costs 1 red. If you have a creature that costs 4 or more, which we do, or not 4 or more, has power 4 or greater, which we do, and that one is called Bolt Bait. Oh, I'm so good at this game. There's the other one, Ricochet Trap. I've said it, and I stand by this argument. I think Deflecting SWAT is the best counterspell in the format. Like, obviously you have Force. A lot of people are going to, disagree with this. But the fact that you could take something and redirect it, like, specifically if your goal is to protect something, Deflecting SWAT is a way better counterspell than Force of Will. Force of Will, you're going down 2 cards and a life. Deflecting SWAT, you're going up a card. You're taking the removal spell and you're pushing it someplace else and going up. So that's pretty freaking fantastic. So we're running all of those. Like, all the things that change targets, we're running them. Which, speaking of, I'm going to add a couple more spicy cards here because we have to protect our boy. So there's 2 more that I want to run. They're kind of our iffy whiffy cards here, but I'm going to add them in and we're going to see if they can make the cut here. They are called Rills Resolve? Come on, Wills. Wow, what is the name of it? The other one's Display of Power, I think. All right, is it Display of Power? Okay, Display of Power is not going to let you change it around. Display of Power is actually just kind of going to be like a fork, which we're going to want fork also. So let's get this in here also. Display of Power, fork, reverberate. Because once again, these are your red counter spells. Like, this is what you got. We'll get Tybalt's Trickery in here while we're in here. Tybalt's Trickery. Bam. Okay. We got our red counter spells. Red Elemental Blast. Let's get them in there. Let's get them in there before we make it to the end and not have it. And what's the other one? It's Red Elemental Blast and Pyro Blast? It's Pyro, right? Because Pyro's fire? Pyro Blast. Pyroblast. That's not the name of the card? Pyroblast, thank you. I'm like, I know this, because Hydroblast is the way I win. Okay. Got our counters. We're still at 84. We're still doing pretty good. What is the name of the card I'm thinking of? It's something... Change target spell. Commander's red. It's an instant. It is not here. Where is it? There's shunt. Target spell. Change target? I know this card exists. If reroute could hit a triggered ability or an activated ability, it would be in. But the fact that it can only hit an activated ability, not so good. And then draw a card, not so good. What? I swear this card exists. It costs 2 colorless and a red. Equal to 3. Target? Spell? Target? How did it not come up here? Oh my god. I know it starts with a W. There's Reiterate also. Oh, remember this card was good in standard? Amazing. Remember this card was something? I swear to God, here it is. Will's Reversal. Choose target spell or ability with one or more... because it uses the word targets. One or more targets. Oh, interesting. Ooh, so you can hit things that are hitting multiple targets. That's actually pretty cool. Roll d20. 1 to 14. Deflecting swat it. 15 plus is pretty sweet because you can choose a new target and then copy it. So you get 2 of it. This card, we're going to put this one in. Will's Reversal. Okay. I like how all the blue players are like, we can't run Mana Drain. Like the best counter spell ever printed. We can't hold up 2 blue mana for this. And we're running like a 3 mana like change target spell ability. But that's what being mono red is you don't get a lot of free spells. You gotta work for them a little bit harder. So but you gotta but they count. Like as I said, deflecting swat, I would much rather deflecting swat most things than I would force of will. So this is more my style. So okay. We're up to 85 cards. We're still doing pretty good. I think we need to pump our boy a little bit. Let's get that other one. What did we just see? It was Reiterate, right? So we have Reverberate. We need Reiterate. Display of Power. Like once again, like people were super high on this card. Like a lot of like content creators were not super high, but I saw some people who were like thinking this was pretty good. Like I know Christmas Land in the Sky and such like that, but the fact that you can hit multiple spells, like if there's stuff going on the stack, is like a lot of cEDH right now is people trying to do like winning on top of stuff. So if you could just like copy a bunch of stuff, like that seems pretty good. Like I don't know, like there will be a moment where this will be good, but this is a good deck where I think this will be great because the goal is to go in out of your turn with untapped mana. Like you kind of want to play control in a weird way, but like it's more like protection, but like an opportunity will present itself and this card will be in your hand and it's going to be like game over. So one thing that we're not running, which is super popular, is extra turn stuff because we need our opponents to be doing stuff, and I'm not sure taking extra turns gets us there. Like we could Final Fortune, untap, and have nothing to do but attack or like not do a lot. So I'm kind of iffy on that. I'd rather do stuff like this. Reiterate. Let's get it in there. Reiterate. One thing we're not doing is we're not running any removal currently. We might have to get something like that. Like even just like a lightning bolt or even just like a chaos warp or a wild magic surge. Like probably good things to get. But let's get back to let's stick with the primary plan. Like, cause once again, if we can start enough little fires here, we don't need to remove anything. Like Dranith Magistrate's gonna suck when if Magistrate hits and this boy is not in play, we're in trouble. But Godo has the same problem. Like Godo has the exact same problem where it's like you then have to deal with the Magistrates. You have to Chaos Warp and I haven't checked the Goto list recently, but I'm pretty sure they're not running 10 removal spells. They're probably running like 2 or 3. They have other like plans, but like these are still things like Parasitic Pillar and like Spell Shock and like Sardian Avenger. They're still dealing damage. Like damage is still getting thrown around, even if this boy's not in play. Once he's in play and once he's equipped with something, then the clock is ticking. Then like the fire is raging. So, but you can still win. Like things could still be happening. Like you can put people in a position where like it's just really tough for them to win, and they still got to remove stuff, and you just drain people down. And there's creatures that can get in there for damage. Like this boy still gets big. Sardian Avenger still gets big, so he can still get in there and steal some damage. Like she's a 3/3. Like stuff happens. Back on track. Let's pump our boy. One of the things that people have suggested, which I kind of like, is, and this is like our absolute like maximum here, is Grafted War Gear. It's an equipment. It equips for free, so you're gonna pay the 3 once, and then you're never gonna have to pay it again. And it gives +3/+2, and then if it for whatever reason becomes unattached, you have to sacrifice the creature. But it's the fact that it's basically like an aura that won't go away. It comes in. You attach it, it won't go away from there. So Grafted War Gear. I'm keeping it. It's going to kind of go in the iffy pile because, once again, if we can protect our guy, it doesn't matter if an aura falls off. And at this point, we have 0 auras. And there's only like 2 that we want to run. They are, for the life of me, I cannot remember. I saved them. But they give you a creature +3. They are red. They are an aura. And they cost 2 or less. There's definitely a couple that cost 2. And then they come with like a little bonus on top of it also. So it's like, what are they? It is... Here we go. Madcap Skills. And Talanali's crown. Who is Talanali? Is that the dinosaur? Is the dinosaur's name Talanali? Could be. Well, we'll say that it's not. Madcap Skills though. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and menace. That's pretty good. He already comes with trample. Give him menace. I will gladly take that. I don't think any of the other ones are worth doing. Because I think then at that point you want to start running more whatchamacallits. So I'm putting Madcap Skills. Why not? Why not? Madcap Skills. We just, as I said, if we could pump our boy up, it's pretty good. Another one, Eater of Virtue. Let's get that in there. Which is basically just a better Bone Splitter. Like we could run Bone Splitter, but why not just run Eater of Virtue? Because once again, a goofy situation could come up. Do we have anyone who does? Do we have a creature that has an ability that it actually... Oh, here we go. First Strike. Menace. It does exist. They do exist. First Strike and Trample. That boy. This guy is so good. Like, this guy is so good. I love this guy. Where'd it go? Eater of Virtue. If you're unfamiliar, it just gets +2/+0. And then if a creature dies, you exile instead. And any equipped creature gets the keyword abilities on it. So... that is always like pie in the sky. Like I've played this card in standard with like a ton of abilities, and it never seems to get anywhere. Like sometimes they'll get flying, maybe, but it costs 1. It activates for 1. It's something that Ursa Saga can get. Like if you've gotten your rocks out, or like you're in kind of a stable position, like you can get it and attach it to him. So that's pretty good right there. I feel like we want a little bit more, like another couple pump things. Like, do we want to run Talania's Crown? Do we want to run it? Is it any good? Or do we need another? Let's see if we can find another equipment here. Let's just see what we're not thinking of. Equipment. Is there something that gives +3? It costs 2 or less? I'm pretty sure there's not. I'm pretty sure Grafted War Gear is the absolute top. That also, like, equips. I mean, this isn't bad. Ace's baseball bat, like, cost 2, equips for 1. You get +3/+0. Like, That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Yeah, that might be going in. People suggest a Hero's Blade. I think it's cool, but the one problem with Hero's Blade is that it has to come in first. So like you're gonna need that in play, and then player dude, if you get this and then you have to pay the 4, absolute garbage. There's something interesting about this one. I've seen people suggest this one also. It's another trigger for Ursa Saga, because you don't need to be attacking with Ojer. Like he could sit there tapped, like if he's big enough. But I don't know if I super love that one. I also like this one, Stitcher's Graft. A quick creature goes +3/+0. But same thing. If it attacks, it doesn't untap. And then it has the same problem of like if it becomes unattached, it falls off. Oh, Naginata is good also. +3/+0 on trample. It can only be attached to him. You know what? We're gonna add Oh Naginata, and maybe Ace's Baseball Bat, and then I think we might be good. Oh Naginata. Great. Ace's Baseball Bat. So, here's a good argument. What's better, Ace's Baseball Bat or Talania's Crown? Because once again, we're getting ourselves in that boat where it's like, here are permanents that we're playing on our turn that aren't dealing damage. Like, these are kind of the worst things to be doing. That's why I really like the flash ones. The 3 flash ones are the best by far, because you do it in reaction to something. Like, you wait for someone to do something, and then you do it. And, like, that's going to be way better and, like, a much better play than not. Because there might be situations where it's like, you have both. Like, you have the Mirren Bane Splitter, and you have something like Red Elemental Blast, and someone casts something that's not scary, but it's like, man, I can make my guy deal 6 damage instead of 4 damage. And you might hold back, and you may not flash in the Mirren Bane Splitter because you want to hold up the Red Elemental Blast, because someone is thinking that they might be able to go for the Oracle. Like, on the next player might go for that. So it's like, if you would have taken your turn and played Ace's Baseball Bat and you're tapped out, and then the next player goes Oracle, it's like, you're out. You got nothing. So being out, like, especially in multiplayer, always being able to like play at instant speed is the way to live. Like, it is the ideal. So all the flash ones are like super like on par. Let's just, for the sake of it, I just want to see, because that other one surprised me. I did not realize that it existed. Are there other equipment with flash that are in red? I know there's a couple black ones. But is there other red ones? I don't even care what the cost is. Show me them all. Embercleave. I mean, it was pretty fantastic back in the day. I'm just not attacking with enough creatures. It's super cool. But this is, this is not great because you gotta do it on your attack stuff. So not super great. Grifter's Blade, this looks like crap. It does exactly what I wanted to. This is like a prime example of power creep. It's like Grifter's Blade to Dueling Rapier to Mirren Bane Splitter. Just like, Mithril Code is cool, but we're not going to be, like, as I said, like, if it gave Hexproof, that'd be pretty good. Actually, if it gave Hexproof, that'd be fantastic, but it doesn't. It gives Indestructible. And Indestructible isn't going to save you from a Source Splasher. So, Quick Draw Dagger. Okay, we got all the good ones. We found this one here, which was, but after that, these are crap. So, it was good plan. The one other pump spell, which was kind of on my mind, was... Is it Blazing Crescendo? Is that the one? It definitely is called something Crescendo. But it pumps the creature, and it also like lets you exile the top card, and you can play it until at the end of your next turn. So it's basically a draw spell. So I'm going to add it. We're going to add this one. Blazing Crescendo. It's an instant. It helps. Let's do it. Because once again, I think I'd rather be doing this at instant speed than doing stuff on my turn at sorcerer speed. As cool as this is, +3, and as cool as like, hey, we can like re-equip this if he dies. Spending our mana to do this might cause us to die. Like, we may not get another turn. Like, we may not be granted another opportunity to get this guy out if we're blowing our mana on stuff on our turn. Like, look at our sorceries. We have 2, and one of them is a land. Like, we do not want to be playing nonsense on our turn. So some of these other equipment, like, I'm kind of talking myself out of grafted war gear. Like, 3 mana is expensive. Like, granted, it's colorless, and we have like monolith and stuff like that, so it's not like absurd, but still, like, and all of our reactionary spells are all like double red or like single red. Like, most of that, like, yeah, like, look at this. Like, almost none of them even have like colorless. Ironically, Will's reversal with the colorless is probably one of the better ones. Like, if you have a medallion out, like, that's pretty good. Like, obviously Tybalt's Trickery is fantastic, but if you're only paying like 1 for this, and it's also a colorless that you just have lying around, that's pretty good. I'm really talking myself into this card. I really like this card right now. I'll let you know when it lets me down immensely, and then we can all rip it up together. All $1.49 of it. 92 cards. What else do we need here? I feel like there's more Punishers. I feel like I'm missing some punishing cards here. I might pause this and look at my phone because I had saved a bunch of stuff. So let me see. You know what else we need? Speaking of sorceries and speaking of like rituals, since we have the space here, Jessica's Will. Like, there's no need, like, there's no reason not to run Jessica's Will. I saw it in Godo and I was kind of like, maybe not. But our commander costs less, and we're going to try to rush them out pretty fast. And obviously, if you've ever played Jessica's Will, if you could do both modes, it's pretty fantastic. We're not doing anything crazy. We're going to be able to loop it, but, in a world where everyone's freaking drawing 1,000,000 cards off of the One Ring and off of Ristic Study, you go up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Like, that's just money in the bank. So Jessica's Will seems like a pretty good auto include in here. I know a lot of people have cut it from a lot of decks, like, especially if you're in like Grixis or like lots of like multicolors. This is not super fantastic, but we're mono red, so we need mana. Mana's good. We'll take it. And then we need card draw, and this is the closest to card draw as we're gonna get here. So Jessica's Will in the deck, 93 cards. That's with 31 lands. I'm not also against going up an additional land. Okay, I checked my phone, and there was definitely a couple we had missed. One is Cemetery Gatekeeper. I love this guy in standard. I can't believe I forgot about this. Comes into play, exile a card from a graveyard. Whenever a player plays a spell that has the same type, he deals 2 damage to them. So your ideal target is obviously an instant. You can hit an artifact. An artifact's not a terrible thing to hit either. If you hit an artifact and then you're able to get stuff off of artifacts, but obviously the thing that people are going to be playing is instants. I guess you could grab a creature also. There's not like a terrible choice. Like, someone's going to be playing something. Like, you can kind of make the judgment call at the table, but like, it doesn't matter. The only crap thing about this guy is that, like, turn 1, if you're like Lotus Petal this, he hits nothing. Well, I guess Lotus Petal this, you can have your own Lotus Petal, so yeah, you know what I mean? Even if you do your own sorcery to get him out, it's not the worst thing. So Cemetery Gatekeeper. Let's get this boy in here. So another Punisher. And the other one was, ironically, he's even called Punisher. It's Furnace Punisher. Not super fantastic, but still, it's kind of like Roiling Vortex. Unless they control 2 or more basic land. So this basically hits everyone for 2 damage every single upkeep, which good enough for me, right? And he's a creature. He's a creature that can attack. Like, that's something to scoff at. He's a 3/3, and he has Menace, so nothing to scoff at there. So that gets us up a little bit higher. All right, now we're up to 95 cards. We got our Punishing. We got that. I also was reminded of another card which I really like, and that's Unleash Fury. It's a pump spell, but it's a pump spell that only gets better. Like, we're not running a ton of pump spells, but as I was kind of discussing this and building the deck, and I was talking so much about how I don't really want to be playing a lot of stuff on my turn to pump my creature, like, obviously things that are permanently attached and like permanent pumps are fantastic, but Unleash Fury is not bad. Like, you get your boy a little bit bigger, and then you double him. Like, you turn him from 6 to 12, or from like 5 to 10. That could be like game. Like, someone goes to play a spell, and they're like 8 life, and they're like, I'm going to win the game right here, and I don't care if I'm going to take 5 or 6 damage, and you hit Ojer with Unleash Fury. Like, that's game over. Or if there's like a big stack, like if there's just like a bunch of spells sitting there, and there's like this effect is sitting like in multiple spots, then it's like, okay, cool. I can unleash fury and pump him up. It could also just be like a game-winning blow. Like it is once again, Sardian Avenger. Like this boy can get pretty big if people are sitting on a bunch of treasures or the game's going longer. Like, and that's where I think this deck is gonna shine. Like early game, you're gonna get run over. Like that's just the God's honest truth. Like if someone goes for a turn 1 win, unless you just happen to be sitting on like a Pyroblast and a Simian Spirit Guide, like especially if you're like you haven't gone yet, like you don't have a good answer. Like there's not much you can do. Like the deck is also very susceptible to Thoracle, which is a terrible place to be. Because Thoracle's not playing a bunch of spells, it's playing 2 spells. So, but 2 spells could still be 8 damage, like with a Spell Shock, or with Pyrostatic Pillar, or with like Mana Barbs. Like it could still be like 4, 8, or 12 damage, and that's nothing to scoff at. Like having to pay 12 life to try to go for a win is pretty rough. And then if you need to be able to protect it, like if you need to actually be able to cast 3 spells, then taking, 12 or 16 damage to go for a win, that's pretty brutal, especially after you've already taken a bunch of damage on top of things. Like, and that's kind of where the deck's gonna shine. And I think that's what I was saying. Like it puts you in a burning room, and you got to get yourself out, because if you don't, like it's gonna burn down and Ojer will be left standing. So that's kind of the idea here. So 96 cards. We need a couple more things here. What else do we need? This is weird to be in like a spot where like you have a deck and you want to be making additions and not cuts, because it's usually like you have like 120 cards. You're like, I gotta cut 20 cards on that. What can we do? What else is damage? What else am I missing? We have that like that guy who, whenever an artifact comes into play, I really don't want to do like Gutter Snipe and Electrostatic. Like I don't have the stuff to like back that up to do that. 1 damage. What else does 1 damage? Whenever. Let's see if we missed anything here. Let's see. 1 damage whenever. Another card we forgot. This one's fantastic. Rampaging Ferocidon. Whenever creature comes, if you don't remember this was so good ago. It was banned in Standard for a hot minute there. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon, it deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Players also can't gain life, which not a lot of life gain, but there is what's that boy's name? Ikra something? Ikra Usurper? Something? Ikra Usurper? That boy gains life, right? Now he can't gain life. That's pretty good. Also, I fully read Will's Reversal. This card is amazing because you add the highest power of a creature you control. So it's pretty good when our goal is to get this guy a little bit bigger. So 15 plus, you get to get an extra copy of the spell. So if Ojer or freaking Sardian Avenger is something like 6 or 8 or 10, then all you gotta roll is like a 6 or a 5. That's not that, like, that's pretty high odds if all you gotta roll is like a 6 or higher. Like on a 20-sided dice. That'd be pretty fantastic. I'm really liking this card now. This is gonna be the fun card. This is gonna be the super fun card here. But yeah, Rampaging Ferocidon. That was the other punishing card that I had forgetting about. So, ooh, you know what I think I might run? It's not great, but if we're really digging here, Maddening Hex, enchant a player. Whenever enchanted player casts a non-creature spell, roll a d6. Maddening Hex deals damage to that player equal to the result. Then attach Maddening Hex to one of your opponents. So it's going to deal 1 to 6 damage every time anyone plays anything. It can never hit you. So this is a good example of like a Pyrostatic Pillar that you're immune from. But at the same time, people can like spell on top of this, or like the wrong person has it, and then it's not going to hit everyone. So basically, like, people can like play around this. It's going to take a little bit of like shenaniganery to like make this hit. This is not as good as like Pyrostatic Pillar, or like Spell Shock. Spell Shock is like the best because it just hits everything. Anything that's played, every second 2 damage. This can be like played around, which I'm not super in love with. We are digging for cards here, but put it in the maybe pile. Maddening Hex. $8. What? This card's garbage. Why? What? Why is this card $8? Another good thing about this is, you know, the Chrome Mox and not the Chrome Mox, the Mox Diamond, and we don't have Lions Eye Diamond here. I wonder if we need to add Lions Eye Diamond. I wonder if we also need to add Underworld Breach. Card is fantastic. And we're just not running it. Like, I think I'd rather, like, if I had to spend 2 mana, I think I'd rather Underworld Breach than, like, Ace's Baseball Bats. Like, I don't think I could justify a deck that runs this and doesn't run Underworld Breach. We're going to add Underworld Breach. That is, like, because it is... I can't do anything with my graveyard. My graveyard's garbage. Like, I can't get anything out. I'm in mono red, so everything that's there is just, like, fodder for this. So, this is extra creature spells. Like, it's a tutor. It's that, you know what I mean? You know who are also we're missing? I think I'm figuring out that, like, we're missing some key cards, so I don't think we need these, like, extra cards. Recruiter. We need a tutor. Tutor Recruiter. Imperial Recruiter. Gamble. I hate Gamble. Gamble's like the worst tutor of them all, but it's not bad. Like, it's not the worst. I mean, you get hard talking myself into this one. I don't like Gamble. I understand that it's like a tutor, but it's kind of like Snuff Out. Like, everyone eventually gets burned by that card. Like, everyone finds themselves in a situation where you don't have a swamp and you need to snuff something out and you can't. Everyone has that Gamble situation where it's like, I can win the game if I can get the card I need, and then you get the card you need and you throw it in the graveyard. And you're like, that was fun. And you're in mono red, so it's like, okay, now I need to go get it's Underworld Breach. You go and get Underworld Breach and then you discard it and you're like, well, I can't get it back, so good game, everyone. That was fun. But, you know, it costs 1, so why not? And if it's in your graveyard and you then have Underworld Breach, then it's fantastic. So you can get something else and you can replay it. So, Gamble. Now we're at 99 cards. We are right there. So maybe we don't need anything else. Is that it? Do we just go up a land? Is this it? Do we have a deck here? What are we missing? Are we missing anything? Like, we're splitting hairs now over a single card here. What was in our considering? We had Artillerist. Javelin of Lightning. Oh, we didn't have this other one. I think we add this. Let's add it. Move to main deck. Boop. Because honestly, if we need to cut something, it would probably then be... It would probably be like Ace's Baseball Bat. Because for 2 mana, we're able to get 3. Like, I mean, yeah. Once again, I'd rather have Javelin of Lightning than Ace's Baseball Bat. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's pretty fantastic. This is also a good combat trick also. Like, I know combat tricks are not super, like, cool in cEDH, but it's always fun. It's always fun to get something. You know what I mean? Someone's like, I'm going to attack about Tim now. Like, you know, and you're like, I'm going to block with my Harsh Mentor. I'm going to block with my Goblin Matron, and then you throw Javelin of Lightning on her. Like, I don't know. That's not the worst use of 2 mana in the world. 100 main deck. Do we want a Chaos Warp? Do we want a Chaos Warp? 1 Chaos Warp to just kind of have some kind of removal? Because at this point, we technically have no removal. We have, like, none. Do we cut something or do we cut a land? Do we get into 29 lands, or do we cut something for it? Keep coming back to this Ace's Baseball Bat. I'm not a huge fan. Not gonna lie, not a huge fan. And also, whatchamacallit, Grafted War Gear. But it's a pump, and then it's repeatable. And then you can throw it onto other stuff. Like, I think I like Grafted War Gear more than I like Ace's Baseball Bat. Because this equips for 3 to something else. Grafted War Gear, if for some reason our boy dies, and we just need to get that last little bit in there, it's just like, does that. Man, I wish those other two, like, creatures that are the wrong colors or have the, like, wrong colors in there can do it, would do this. Let's add... I mean, Shatter Skull Smashing is technically a removal spell, so that kind of counts, right? Kind of, sort of, no. Screw it, we're going down land. Remove one. I suppose from a Godo list, like, Godo needs a lot more mana than we need. Like, we should be able to make this work. And we'll just run one Chaos Warp. The best red removal spell. Do you run Chaos Warp or you run or like Wild Magic Surge? I think you still run Chaos Warp, right? Like, let's look up what because Wild Magic Surge can't hit your own thing, right? You can't hit your own thing. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Yeah, because you know what? You can Chaos Warp by the One Ring, and you cannot Wild Magic Surge the One Ring. So there we go. That sold me for it. All right, lands. Let's talk about our lands for a second here, because there's a couple lands I want to add that are like not on people's radars because this deck is doing goofy things. One is Hall of Oracles. It can pump your creatures. That's basically what we're looking for. Lands that can pump our creatures. So we will drop down a mountain and we will run one Hall of Oracles. So as long as you played an instant or sorcery this turn, you can tap it to put a +1/+1 counter. So that's pretty fantastic. And once again, like, it only taps for colorless. So if you're sitting there and you have a fork in hand, sitting with this colorless mana available is not really going to get you anywhere. So if you happen to have played an instant or a sorcery on your turn, which, you know, you did a gamble or Jessica's Will or Rite of Flame or, you know, something, you know, someone was hitting you, like you had to fight on the stack here and you're still sitting on that, like, it's not the worst thing. And the colorless mana is, like, it's not going to go to waste. The other one was Castle Embreth, right? Why not run Castle Embreth? Like, we got the mountains. I'm not running fetch lands. I don't want to be got by opposition agent. Like, I'm in monocolor. Like, there's nothing, like, there's an argument for deck thinning, but you're much more likely going to be got by a whatchamacallit, by an opposition agent. And I'd like to not stone rain myself for deck thinning purposes. Like, I can't control the top of my library. You know what I mean? Like, we have nothing that we don't have the tutors that put anything on top. So it doesn't matter what's on top. Like, on top is irrelevant to us. So I'm running no fetches. Argue with me if you think that's the wrong decision or not, but I'm standing by it. Like, the only argument I could justify is that it fuels Underworld Breach, but, like, Underworld Breach isn't our win. Like, we're not going for the win with Underworld Breach. Like, it's kind of just, like, cool to have. Like, if this wasn't printed, I'd consider running, like, Past in Flames, just because it's, like, it's a way to get a second use out of stuff. Like, it's a tutor. It's a tutor to your graveyard. This is demonic tutor into your graveyard for us, is what this is. This isn't our win con. Like, I'm not even running Lion's Eye Diamond. Like, I'm thinking about adding it, but, like, what do I do with it? Like, what am I going to Lion's Eye Diamond my way into? I think there was one more land I wanted to run. Let's look this up real fast. No, there's 2 more lands I want to run. 2 more lands. I can't believe we forgot about this one. I can't believe you didn't remind me. What are you guys doing there? You're supposed to be telling me what I'm supposed to be adding here. Plaza of Heroes. We need to protect our boy. Like, Plaza of Heroes. Like, it's gonna be in every deck. I swear, every single deck. Plaza of Heroes. Like, how is this? How is this really any different than, like, Display of Power or, like, Reverberate at this point? You know what I mean? Like, if our goal with Reverberate is to basically use this to, like, be a bad deflecting spell, like a 3 mana cost, Plaza of Heroes is the exact same thing. Like, we're gonna use this to, like, protect Ojer or, you know, cast him. So it seems pretty fantastic for me. Also gives hexproof, which we have nothing that gives hexproof. Like, we could try to protect him, but man, I wish we could give this boy, like, permanent hexproof. And I am not running Lightning Greaves. And I am standing by that. I don't think that's the right call. Because that's a good example. That was an argument that I had with myself, and this is where I landed, where it's like, we need to give our boy protection, so we're going to give him lightning greaves. The problem with that is that if anyone has an answer, they just do it in response. So it doesn't actually protect him. Like, it protects him from that point forward, but you got to get there. And a lot of times that's where you get got, is at that moment. While if you have the mana available and you instead have a fork, I'd rather just have the fork. Like, or I'd rather have, like, the Will's Reversal, like something to, like, change it. Tybalt's Trickery, sorry, that's the much better one. Like, Tybalt's Trickery, I'd rather just hit that. Like, then the removal spell is gone, and I don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm the one reacting, not the one who is trying to sneak something under a reaction. So I'd rather do that. Like, this is how I like to play, like, all instants, like, all the time. What was the other lands? There was something else. There was another land that I, like, immediately thought of. Our commander's red. We want to go plus. We are a land. Oh, yes. It's the, this is fantastic. Tyrite Sanctum. Because Ojer is a god. So it's another way to protect him. Like, you know, I barked a lot at, like, all there is whatchamacallit is exile removal. But there are Blasphemous Act. Like, stuff does get run here and there. Like, you will see, like, mono green run, like, Beast Within. It's not completely unheard of. But this one also right here. 2. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. So if you're sitting on colorless mana and you can just do this, like, this just, you're just making the fire burn a little bit brighter with this. If you can go a turn cycle and just keep putting an extra counter on him, and he gets up to 7, 8, 9, 10, who's gonna win? Who, like, no one's gonna be able to win, like, if he has 10 power, like, permanently 10 power, and you have a Parasitic Pillar or a Spell Shock on the table. Like, every spell you play is gonna cost you 10 life. Like, no one's gonna be able to outrun that. Like, that's just, it's just not gonna happen. It doesn't come to play tapped. It's totally fine. So I'll take it. So we're gonna add this one. Tyrite Sanctum. We're gonna check one more quick thing, because I might backtrack my my dislike of fetch lands, because I'm having a moment here where I kind of remember that there's a mountain. When it comes into play, it pumps your creature. Is this a thing? Is this a thing? Because there's, like, the white one, then when it comes into play, it, like, that was awful. Didn't I say it was a mountain? Land type, mountain, plus. Because you have Dwarven, nope, okay, it doesn't exist. Okay, we're back on this. But there's lands that, land, plus. Okay, what else did we miss? Castle Embereth, we got that one. Any of these that are worth it. Target Goblin, not human. Yeah, this is what I thought. I thought that this was a mountain, but it is not. It is not. And Teetering Peaks is not a mountain either. Okay, I think that's good. And then we got our last here. 101 cards, because we're up to 31 lands. Do we drop down a land? Do we? Also, like, I know everyone runs Mox Diamond, and I added Mox Diamond to this deck. I do not like Mox Diamond, especially in a deck that can't draw cards. Like, I get it. It's fast. It gets you there, like, a little bit faster. But the number of times I've seen people go, like, land, Mox Diamond, ditch a land, and then not have, you need a third land. You need 3 lands. Like, you're running 31 lands, and you're going to have 3 lands in your opening hand, and you kept this hand? Like, all you need is this Mox Diamond to get, like, oofed, or, like, turned off, or Force of Bigger. Like, it's not unheard of. Like, I like it, but man, I really don't like it, to be totally honest. Like, and especially for the cost. Like in terms of like this card is holding up so much value. Like if I need to build this deck in paper, I'm not actually going to run this Mox Diamond. I'll just run an extra mountain, but it's in there because everyone runs it, and it's like when you have it, it's great. When you don't, it's like it's crap. But man, I don't get me started on Mox Diamond. I do not like Mox Diamond. Like I think it's crap. To be totally honest, like Chrome Mox is clearly the better card. Like, but obviously it's been reprinted a bunch more times. Mox Diamond is just it's not super good in cEDH unless you're in blue. If you're in blue and you're drawing a bunch of cards, like I get it, you got it, good job. But everything else, like what are we do? Jessica's Will and like reveal Mox Diamond, like we're living in a dreamland here. I will say this: you can Mox Diamond for free, and then Cemetery Gatekeeper it out of your own graveyard, which kind of cool, maybe. I don't think so. All right, so we got 101 cards here. I feel like we talked a lot of shit about a lot of cards that we should probably cut. Man, this Ace of Baseball battle just keep coming back to this one. We're moving you. You're out. Hit the dugout baseball bat. You're in the considering pile. You got replaced by the javelin. I'd rather have the javelin. I stand by it, and I think that's pretty good. I think we got it. I think we have a deck here. Like, is this gonna like win Mox Masters? No. Like, is this gonna be fun to play? Definitely. I think it'll be great. Other thing about this deck, which is good specifically for me, just a quick story, is whenever I'm playing cEDH, it's at my store that I go to. Two stores that I go to. One is Turn Zero Games, which is my favorite store. They do Commander Night on Wednesday, and they have a pretty good cEDH scene. So I will go there and play. And they also are open late, and I have kids, and I have a family, and I have work. I own a business and such. So when I'm going to go play, it is at the end of a full day of waking up early to get kids to school, doing a full day of work, like doing everything that needs to be done. So I'm usually like, I've been up for at least 12 hours, sometimes closer to like 16 hours or 18 hours. And I've worked like 10 to 12 hour a day a lot of times. So when I'm going to play cEDH, I am brain dead. Like, I'm exhausted. This deck plays brain dead. Like, the game plan is super simple. Play a punishing card, play your commander, protect your commander. That's it. This isn't some like deep thinking, like I gotta like come up, like I gotta figure out the combo or how we're gonna get around this. We run one removal spell. Like, we're just hoping to just burn everything down. So we don't need to think. Everyone else needs to think how to get their way out of this. We're just burning. We're just having fun here and burning away. So this is a good deck for that. This is a good deck where I can sleep up. I can play. If I go a couple weeks and I don't get a chance to play it, I can still just like sit down and play. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll make for like kooky stories. I think there'll be like something goofy will happen, and it'll make like for a funny moment where like where's that stupid where's the one that makes him bigger? Unleash Fury. Like someone goes to cast something and he's like an 8/8, and I like Unleash Fury to turn him into a 16/16, and they take 16 damage, and that ends the game. Like stuff like that'll be hilarious. At least for me it will be. So yeah, I'm not gonna challenge Comedian with this deck in the next like summer cookout event or anything like that, but I'm gonna have fun playing with it, and I can also build it in paper, and it won't be super expensive, especially if I get this stupid Mox Diamond out of the deck. I'm thinking of removing it right now. But yeah, the money, like there's not a lot of money in this deck. It says $2,000, but it's all in like a few cards. Like I could build this deck for like less than that, and approximately a handful of cards that I need, and I think a lot of the cards that I need I already have. So it seems cool. So here's my build. This is my thinking. This is how I took it from beginning to end. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's super cool. Let me know if you think this is super lame. Let me know if you are absolutely confident that your Rogside deck is going to run this deck over, and I am an absolute fool for thinking that I could bring this to a cEDH table, because I love to hear it. Have a good night. Okay, so me from the future here. I have sat with this deck for a couple days, and here is the final list that I have landed on. So a couple things have changed here as I've thought about it and seen other people's lists, which was kind of interesting to see. A couple more staples got added in. Ragavan, like I'm calling him ramp here, like he's gonna get you, he also kind of his card draw, like he's gonna get you that extra card, he's gonna get you treasure, that's pretty great. I dropped that Furnace Punisher guy because I realized that he is the worst of them, and a 3-drop to do that just isn't quite getting us there. What else have I added or changed here? We went down on lands. I'm like, we're running so much ramp that I don't think we need as many lands as we had. So we're technically at 29 because the sorcery that is the land here, the MDFC. So that's pretty good there, I feel. We dropped Fillmore Stone for the Iron Crag. Did you know that when this changes, it permanently changes? Like, this card is the most confusing card of 2023, I think. The like losing the ability and then the fact that it permanently becomes that. So Fillmore Stone is already mediocre. The colorless is whatever, like obviously red man is great, but the colorless in here should be totally fine. But it becomes an equipment when he comes into play, and then you can equip him. This is fantastic. Like, this is great. And if nothing else, it's a 2-mana ramp spell. Like, I've seen people running Mind Stone in a similar build. Drop that Mind Stone and put in the Iron Crag, like, immediately. There's absolutely no reason to do that. Like, that one card draw is useless. Like, this +3/+3 is going to be game-winning if this activates. And I think that's kind of it. Like, I named things here, so final deck list things are kind of named to make a little bit more sense. We came up with a clever name for the actual deck because I've come to realize this is basically a jigsaw trap. You put people in a situation where they have to do damage to themselves to get out alive if they want to. So this is more of a jigsaw trap than anything, which I think is hilarious. Also, some of the other gods have been revealed, and I was very concerned that the Black God was going to be fantastic, and I was going to want to build that instead, and the Black God's kind of mediocre, so I'm pretty happy with the red one here. Ooh, one more thing. I'm running a fun of here. Curse of Hospitality. I've never seen this in a cEDH table. I'm honestly not sure what happens when this hits the table, but we're in mono red, and we need to get cards. And ironically, the cards we want are not our own. If we could be playing black, I'd much rather be playing black because there's a ton of black cards that we'd rather have, you know, demonic, vampiric, like stuff like that. So we're going to take everyone else's cards. The hope here is that we can break the fact that everyone else could be getting free cards and that we're going to make everyone else playing those cards painful. And we're going to be able to get them and play them more advantageously because all we want to hit is free mana and tutors. That's really what we want. Like, this is kind of breaking my rule of, like, I don't want to be playing things at sorcery speed that aren't getting me advantage. But note with Curse of Hospitality, you can also get lands. So if you're able to get there and then hit with, like, a couple creatures, that's basically like drawing 2 cards. 2 cards that you can play land, and you might be able to get free mana. Like, there's stuff to do. It's not fantastic, but it's also not terrible. So you see someone playing black, you give this to them, because I'm 99% sure that's the color you want. You see someone playing Rakdos, you absolutely give this to them. At first, my gut instinct was you give this to the control player, but you kind of don't want to give it to the control player, because all you're going to wind up doing is that, I think, is going to give someone the game, because you're going to give it to someone who is going to hit a counter. Like, you give it to the blue player, someone else hits that person, because you're getting the cards off of the person who's hit. So you attack with creatures, or someone attacks with creatures, you hit the cursed player, the cursed player reveals the cards off the top of their library, and the attacker is the one who's able to play them. So you don't want to hit the control player, because someone is going to attack that person, reveal a counterspell, or reveal a silence, and then play that, and then win because of that. So you want to give this to someone who's honestly doing something more aggro. Like you see a Prosper, you see an Obnixilis, you see something like that. You see someone who is like spell slinging, you kind of go for that. And, you know, note if you can get red, if you can hit someone who's red, you'll be able to like deal damage. So if someone is running burn spells, you can get it and do that. So this is the fun of this. I don't know if it's any good or any not. The other option was to play the Virtue, the red Virtue, which costs 5, which, like, I'm already hesitant to play a 3-mana sorcerer speed spell, so a 5-mana one, even less. And the problem with that one, if you've ever played with abilities that let you exile cards and then be able to play them, you need mana to be able to do that. And if you're playing something for 5, you're not playing anything that turn. Like anything that happens like that turn cycle, you're not gonna be able to do. Like that's like super. That's like pretty late game there, and like your ability to do anything, and you're gonna reveal a bunch of stuff. Like it's on opponent's turn, you're gonna reveal a bunch of stuff that you can't do anything with anyways. Like it's cards that you're gonna want to be able to play, and they're just gonna go away forever, and you got no way to get them back. So I like this better. This might get cut eventually. Like, but as I said, I'm not playing this in like giant tournaments or like for anything competitive. I'm not going for a Time Twister or a Black Lotus with this. I'm playing this with my friends and my buddies like at the game store. So this is funny. This makes for good stories. It's not so bad that it's like, oh my god, why are you playing that? But it's bad enough, but it's also fun enough. So this is my fun of. Everything else I think has kind of stayed about the same. Things kind of got moved around a little bit. I did change some lands around a little bit. Castle Umbreth, we wound up losing because we wound up going down lower on mountains. I got Inventor's Fair because we want to be able to search up some artifacts. Ramen Up Ruins, like, there's absolutely no reason not to play it. Like, you're monocolored red, like, the damage to you is irrelevant. That 2 damage to each opponent. It might be something. Note that this isn't red, so this won't trigger here, so that's kind of not really going to help you. But, 2 damage is 2 damage. It's not nothing, so you're like, the damage you do to yourself is minimal. Like, you're dealing damage everywhere, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. And then I think that's kind of where we landed. I think that's kind of it. So I'm gonna take this thing out for a spin. I'm gonna, I think, legitimately build it for real, and then go from there. Oh, also, that Mox Diamond is gone. I'm done with Mox Diamond. Like, I'm tired. Like, I can't drop down lands and then still justify running Mox Diamond. So, Mox Diamond. I'll see you later. So, I'll let you know how this. I'll keep you updated how this deck goes. But I'm gonna have some fun. All right.